We are live streaming in 3, 2, 1, action.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hendrick Hudson School District Board of Education meeting. I'd like to start by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, as we just returned from our concluded our tenure reception for our new tenured staff, we're going to move on to approval of our agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to pull? Oh no, we're going to start with approval of the agenda. I have a motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Yep. We are moving on to audience comments on non-agenda items. Carmen, do we have anyone? All right, we're going to move on to our consent agenda. Does anyone have anything to pull from the consent agenda? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated? Second. All in favor? Okay. The next item is audience comments on agenda items. Carmen, do we have anything?
There is one item, the donation we have to approve.
Oh, we have to, okay, hold on. Do I have that in front of me, Carmen?
Right, I'm sorry, I made you a copy. I didn't put a copy.
All right, hold on, I'm in now. I was not in, thank you very much. I mean, sort of. Okay, we do have one donation tonight. It is for equipment for digital editing and film, for the Digital Editing and Film Club and the Anchor Newspaper Club. And it is an anonymous donation, was made valued at $5,110 for these two programs. So that's fantastic. They should be well equipped.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you to our anonymous donor. Anyone have any questions? Do I have a motion to approve this donation? Second. All in favor? Thank you very much.
You're a donor.
Okay. The next item is audience comments on agenda items. Carmen? Okay, now we're moving on to our superintendent's update.
Thank you, President Mills, and thank you, Dr. Garcia, for hosting and facilitating our tenure reception this evening, and congratulations to all our tenure recipients. I want to provide an update on events that occurred at Buchanan-Verplanck Elementary School this morning. At approximately 10:30, an odor was detected outside the Buchanan-Verplanck Elementary School. A hold in place was called for our students and staff while an investigation occurred, and first responders began their process of ensuring the safety of our students and staff. Our district had made contact with various industrial neighbors to explore if their operations may have been the source. That investigation has determined no clear source of what may appear to be an odor of sewage. The principal, Dr. Kramer, conducted a debrief with the building and emergency response team and staff at the end of the day to update them on the process and the outcome. And tomorrow there'll be a full debrief with the building emergency response team and district staff to reflect upon the circumstances around it and our response to those circumstances. So at all times, students and staff, their safety was of our utmost concern, and we appreciate the professional response of our staff to keeping students and their colleagues safe. And also we appreciate the response of our first responders. In the vein of ensuring safety, a proactive posture to safety and security, we will be conducting a 15-minute emergency dismissal drill on Friday, October 11th. This is a state mandated preparedness early go home drill, as they call it, and it will be held in all schools in Putnam, Northern Westchester, BOCES. And the schedule will be as follows. Hendrick Hudson High School will dismiss at 1:58 p.m. Frank G. Lindsay School will dismiss at 2:20 p.m. Blue Mountain Middle School will dismiss at 2:30 p.m. Furnace Woods School will dismiss at 3 p.m. and the Buchanan Verplank School will dismiss at 3 p.m. as well. So again, that is for all schools across the Putnam Valley, Putnam, Northern Westchester, BOCES region. We have a component of our strategic plan to celebrate successful outcomes or successful events within the school district. And I'd like to congratulate Hendrick Hudson High School on being recognized as a Silver Award School by the College Board. Being named an AP Silver Award-winning school recognizes schools that have significantly increased the number of students taking AP exams. So congratulations to that program. In the same vein of emergency preparedness, we reached that.
Yes, so it says to qualify for the AP, not to interrupt you, but I just want to mean, to qualify for the AP school honor roll, Hendrick Hudson High School needed to meet or exceed the criteria in all three of the above metrics. The school achieved silver status or better in all three categories and reached the highest status, platinum, in the college credit category due to the 51% of the class of 24 having scored a 3 or better.
Yes, so if there's,
We reached all three silver platinum.
in the particular platinum category, we reached for the college credit category, we reached platinum,
Yeah,
but our overall score was silver.
okay, got it.
So there's 3 subdomains of the score, and your average or weighted average in your performance area of those individual components determines your overall score. And what that does is that allows those who oversee the program to drill down to where they may look to improve to achieve that status. Thank you. We will be conducting a test of our emergency notification system as I drove into work on Monday and enjoyed the lovely rainstorm. I thought about it's that time of year when we might have to start thinking about inclement weather, believe it or not. And also the weather in Florida has got us thinking about that. So to be proactive, we will be conducting a test of our emergency notification system on October 18th at 6 p.m. district-wide. The system will be used for our school-based emergencies such as inclement weather, closures, and early dismissals. As part of this test through the Parent Square notification system, we will be testing our text message capability, email message capability, and phone-based messages. If you do not receive this test, which again will take place on October 18th at 6 p.m., or if you do not receive any or all of these messages as a parent or community member who has signed up for those messages, please verify your contact information through the Infinite Campus portal or reach out to a building office where your children attend school. If you cannot access the Infinite Campus portal, please contact portal support, so that's PORTALSUPPORT at henhudschools.org. And if you don't receive any or all of the messages as a staff member, please contact your building main office. Other events, a reminder that on next Monday, October 14th, Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day will be observed. We will not have school on those days. There are no questions requiring follow-up at this time. And I do want to just take a moment to, if anybody has family or friends in Florida, as Hurricane Milton approaches, we hope that they are safe and weather the storm well. My father does live in the area, and I was hoping he would evacuate, but I think I challenged his ego when I reminded him that I did go through a Category 5 hurricane myself, and he has not. So I hope that did not compel him to stay, but we'll see. So stay safe, Dad. And at this time, I'll remind my kids to go to bed, and I will turn it over to Vinitha Joy, our Executive Director of Technology and Innovation, to provide her report to the Board of Education.
Good evening, everybody. So I want to start off by saying this month is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So the theme for this month is Secure the World. That's usually like a theme that nationally that they select for securing during the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. There are 4 things that they say you're supposed to keep track of to stay safe online. One of them is creating a strong password. So I sent out an email to the community, to the staff yesterday or day before yesterday about the 4 things that where we are as Hendrick Hudson on the update. We implemented our 14 character complex password policy back in March 2023. The software update is the second thing on the list, and since we now moved to Windows 11 in the district, those software updates will be received on a periodic daily basis as Windows gets updated. We used to have second Thursday of the month was system update or Windows update day. We don't do that anymore since Windows 11 is a cloud-based and we always checks everything online. The third thing is MFA. Our administrators are required and implemented MFA for multi-factor authentication for them last year. We're working with our teachers union on moving that route. That really helps with the reducing the cybersecurity attacks that comes our way. It doesn't completely stop it, but it really stops a lot of the things that are coming our way. And the last thing is recognizing and reporting phishing, which is an ongoing effort. And this is where IT doesn't have a lot of play in it, because we really depend on our staff to protect our system by not clicking on phishing emails. Also, one of the goals, district goals that I had was leveraging our Parent Square system. I know Mr. Trombley actually asked us to start creating bus rosters in Parent Square. So we now have bus rosters in Parent Square, which is updated nightly. So if there is a bus delay, we can utilize that bus roster for AM and PM to communicate with our community if there's a delay on a bus. Other than that, last 2 days of last week, my team was here. They were getting our district office up to date with Windows 11 updates for all those computers, and also moving everybody to cloud printing. So they've been busy.
Thank you, Vinitha. So just an extra piece of thanks for implementing that project, where once implemented and trained, as Vinitha said, our transportation staff, if we know of a particular route that has a situation that we want to update our parents on, we can send that out specifically to the households on that route. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. I'll now ask Ms. Jill Figuerella, our interim assistant superintendent for business, to provide her update to the Board of Education.
Hi, good evening. Our office is still getting into transitioning with new people. We are 2 weeks now into our final new hire. So, you know, we're all coming along and working together as a team, but we've been busy filing all our district state aid documents. We're going to be having our first finance committee meeting October 23rd. So all of us will be meeting with that committee to discuss our budget timeline and budget anticipatory, you know, documents that we need to gather and how we're going to be presenting the budget this year. We'll also be working on starting our energy performance project mid-November, and the financing for that will also be happening in mid-November. So those are some of the things that we've been working on this week.
Thank you, Jill. And I know that Jill wanted me to share how excited she was when she found out that we do a Saturday line by line budget. So,
I think she's busy that weekend.
How did you know?
She is. With us.
We'll do it all day. It's like 7-8 hours.
Can't wait.
The jokes are fantastic.
Yeah.
Now we'll ask Dr. Ruller, our Executive Director for Curriculum and Instruction, to provide her update to the Board of Education. Dr. Ruller?
Good evening, everyone. So it's my pleasure to share that we are coming to the end of benchmarking. Hopefully 2 more weeks and we should be ready to look at the data. We've started to peek a little bit to see what we have coming our way. And then we'll set up meetings with building principals to look at which students need support, which students can we exit from support, etc. We are also planning 2 literacy nights around the new Into Reading K-5 program. That will be K2 is Monday, October 21st, and 3-5 is Tuesday, October 22nd. I would like to thank the teachers who have stepped forward to assist Janine, who's the ELA coach at elementary, and myself in that evening. We're looking forward to possibly answering some questions that maybe did not get answered at back to school night, and having parents visit a classroom to kind of get a feel for what a reading writing workshop looks like, feels like for their students while they're in school. I'm also happy to say that in the buildings, the elementary math and literacy coaches are now starting both their data meetings and their PD with different grade levels. That seems to be going well. Lots of questions are getting answered. Lots of really strong conversations around curriculum are being held together, where teachers are not only offering their input, but also learning how to make adjustments in certain aspects of the instruction. So that's exciting to hear. And I am starting to visit the UPKs. I had the great pleasure of being at BV yesterday. I look forward to being at Furnace Woods tomorrow and Rising Star the week after. So it's been nice to touch base with teachers, to see the little guys, and also to meet with the folks that oversee the program for the Y and Rising Star. What else is going on? Middle schools started my meetings with our support staff. I was happy to be joined by both Mr. Giovinazzi and Mrs. McGill. Those were good conversations, and we'll keep them moving forward. We are looking at the potential for an ELA pilot at the middle school, and so NEC and I are working together to look at some programs that we can put in front of the staff there. Tomorrow, I'm here at the high school to talk about potential four-year plans at the high school level for kids coming in as freshmen. We had some interesting conversations, most especially related to our second language learners. And Maria Pearson, who's one of the APs, and Aaron Kleiman, our director of guidance, will take the conversation with me one more step forward before we bring in some teachers and get some input and try to put something in place. So a very robust few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Weller. There's certainly appears that we've hit the ground running already in October. So thank you for facilitating those movements. Dr. Garcia's report, of course, was our tenure reception, and Ms. Schuckman is not with us tonight. We hope she's doing well. And that is the cabinet and superintendent report for the evening. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Our next, moving on to presentation and discussion, which I don't think we have anything official tonight. So we're moving on to our policy readings. And I think everyone will be excited to hear that I don't think we have any new policy. Just these are all second readings or first.
There's some first ones on here. Well, they were.
No, they're retiring.
Let's do this. Who's ready?
We're saving first readings for next meeting.
Yes, how are you?
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so we are going to start with policy 1000 community relations goals. The Board of Education strives. Second, all in favor? Anyone have any questions around this one?
Motion to accept policy 1000 community relations goals.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, the next one is, this is a revision of policy 1511, district communication of material to students and families. The district has.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Any questions on this one? We added the words or designee, and the 5 will be removed as suggested. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve policy number 1511.
Second.
All in favor? Next up is second reading of policy 2100, school board legal status. The Board of Education is
Motion
accept.
to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve policy 2100, school board legal status?
Motion to approve policy 2100.
Second.
All in favor? Next. Policy 2120, school board elections. The elections of
Motion
members,
to waive the reading.
Second.
all in favor?
Motion to approve policy.
Do we have, is this the one we had some follow-up questions and conversations about? Is this one or is the next one?
It was point to it.
Okay,
Motion to approve policy 2120.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, second reading of policy 2120.1, candidates and campaigning. Candidates and campaigning
Motion to waive the
nominations.
reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion to approve policy 2120.1.
Before we do that, I want to make sure that everything, everyone's questions were answered from last week.
It's point two. It's the
Point
next
two,
one.
there's something on this one.
It's point two or all stuff.
Okay, motion to approve 2120.1.
Motion. No, this is point one.
Point one first.
All in favor? Point two now. Second reading of policy 2120.2, voting procedures. Eligibility to
Motion to
vote.
waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
So this was the one I know we talked about, the absentee ballots.
Mhm.
That was,
The early voting ballots.
yes, the early voting ballots was added. We did talk about, since our last meeting, the voting machines. We can't do the rotation because it's like I
Right.
said, it just does that. It's just like a reading.
Yep.
Of that.
Thank you for looking.
There was a second thing about the order of the ballots. What's the official answer on that? There's.
The way that we were doing it with, the, like picking,
It's a
that's the
law.
legal, that's the law.
The law.
That was the law, so we can't change that either.
Yeah,
but we can make it
question was just
public,
to-
yeah.
It to be available.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's.
That's not part of this, no.
Right, that's just, yeah, so I'm good with this, I appreciate the add of the early voting. Does like a absentee ballots need to be bolded, does that matter? I know you
Yeah,
guys-
we should bold absentee ballots. And I don't know, I know Carmen, I know it's when you're finalizing these, is it possible to move that down to the second page?
No, unfortunately,
No?
because it's in board docs.
Mhm.
There's no whittle, it'll be easier to see.
Looking at board docs, it's.
Oh, no, but it might work if you bold voting. Above where the voting machines are in the middle of that page and space that down, it might move the absentee ballots down anyway.
I'll try, yeah.
Okay,
Only because it gets missed.
I don't.
motion to approve 2120.2 with the bolding of the words.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, this is a second reading of 2150, filling board vacancies.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
We did add a piece to this at the bottom. I know it's not in red on yours, but if you look on the screen, you guys could see to just verify a little bit more about that filling of the vacancy.
This was added after our legal counsel reviewed the policy. So a vacancy in the office of trustee in any school district may be filled by election within 90 days after it occurs. If not so filled, the BOCES district superintendent of the supervisory district within which this Hendrick Hudson Central School District is situated may appoint a competent person to fill it.
And I just wanted to verify, we did have this conversation. That is not this superintendent.
It's the
That is
BOCES.
the BOCES, our BOCES superintendent.
It says may, does that mean you don't have to?
There's other
There's
ways.
Other ways, if you look
Okay.
above, that we could do a special election, like we can appoint.
But you could be
someone.
split.
So it's not that you can't not fill it, it's just there are different ways to fill it.
Yes.
Okay,
This is another option to fill it.
Okay.
If, let's say, one of us goes, this board split 3-3. Okay, right, that could happen.
Yeah.
Then there's the other pathway, which is to have a special election, which we know has a cost added attached to it. Or the other way is to go through BOCES district superintendent. Okay,
Motion to approve policy 2150.
second.
all in favor? Okay. This is the first reading to retire policy 2110, school board powers
Motion to
and
waive the
duties.
reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion to waive the second reading of policy 2110.
Second.
All in favor?
Motion to retire policy 2110.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, I should clarify that.
You just want to explain why we're retiring?
Yes, so, upon recommendation of the policy committee, the Board of Education of the school district hereby conducts the first reading. So the policy, this is going to be addressed in policy 2100, school board legal status, but this is basically moving into that policy.
And that's the case, I believe, with all of the ones that we are retiring
All
tonight.
of
They
them.
appeared somewhere else.
We just condensed them into,
The next two.
yes. So this is a, policy, the retiring of policy 2111, educate, board member authority.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second,
All in favor?
motion to waive the second reading of policy 2111.
Second. All in favor?
Motion to retire policy 2111.
Second. All in favor? Okay, this is the first reading to retire. Policy 2110, school board, wait,
We just did that already.
Are we
It
done?
was just a duplicate.
we're done.
Well,
Yes, I'm following along the line. Okay,
That was a duplicate.
okay. Thank you.
okay. The next order of business is just to finalize our goals. The board goals. Okay, so this is sort of where we landed. Goal 1, strengthen and enhance communication and advocacy to secure support for district initiatives. Is there anything we want to add to this as far as the wording of the language of this goal?
I was just thinking maybe we could do email or social media campaigns.
So this is just the goal.
Okay.
One of the things that I had suggested is, we did a possible action items. That is one of the ones we have on the possible action
Oh.
items, like for us to be able to say, are we achieving that goal? But I feel like our goal should just be that statement of what we want to do. And then we have action items for each one and
And I
how we
add-
can achieve
And
that.
I added
Yeah.
this.
You did, thank you.
Yes, it's there. I just thought that meet started to get like really lengthy for goal, and it should just be very concise as to what we want, and here is how we can check off that we're doing it.
I think we covered a lot in the second. Ray, can you skip just to where our possible action items?
Second slide,
Second slide?
that one.
There you go. So we actually outlined how we would how we could achieve our goal.
And I just thought if we put those all into a goal, and then we didn't do one thing, our goal failed. But by putting it here, we now have multiple methods of doing that, so
Multiple measures. I love it.
yes.
And we're gonna have a check-in on our goals,
And so if we didn't do something, then we failed,
and we can see where we stand.
even though we did other things, then overall our goal would have failed if we didn't hit all of these.
And as we evolve, we may find things we wanna do
Different.
differently or add
Add
to.
on, subtract, yeah.
So everyone okay with the way goal 1 is worded?
Yeah.
As is. Okay. Goal 2 is to revise 4,000 and 5,000 series policies by working directly with NISBA. Okay, I mean, this is a little nuanced, but what I'll say here is. It seems cut and dry, but it is actually a lofty goal. We are right now in the 2,000 series currently. The 4,000 and 5,000 series, really dig deep into our processes for students, curriculum, instruction. So some of these other ones are more procedural, these ones may be a little bit, it's a deeper dive into like the everyday practice and what the values behind HUD, and we will likely be talking to more of our administrative team as we move forward as a policy committee to make sure that we have everything we need to know. So it just may take a little longer. So we've been speeding through some of these, this is actually a big goal.
And if the community wants to get a head start, they can go online and start reading the 4,000 and 5,000 series. And then they can provide feedback to us beforehand so that we can bring that to our meetings when we are revising these.
Is this document meant to be like forward, like community, I mean, obviously it's on here, so it's community, like,
Yes,
easy to I was only gonna suggest, like, cause what you just said is super helpful about what these policies cover. that maybe in your action items, you wanted to refer to what's
It's in my email.
I love that.
It
Okay.
is in
Yeah.
my email. You read, cause you,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I agree. I think most people probably have no idea.
And I'm being serious when I say I want feedback from
Yeah.
community members, because a lot
Well,
of
we're
this,
gonna
like,
share the
yeah,
link, right?
Yeah, of course.
I
direct
want,
link To those policies.
find out what they want beforehand, not waiting, like, I'd
Yeah.
rather have it ahead of time, so we can go into the meeting with this information, as opposed to creating something that everyone,
So can we be clear about like when your meeting is, the policy meeting?
not even
they're,
at these.
they're,
Right, so
Which
just
one?
communicating.
But
what's-
No,
We're-
I'm kidding.
we
It's
have-
just- There's like, what, every other week almost? I think.
yeah, they're pretty, we're bi-weekly now, but we don't have a consistent day just because of
Yeah,
scheduling with
that makes
some
sense.
events, like Mondays, there's a lot of holiday, we try to do Mondays, but
So when we start, what I think we'll do is when we get through the 2000s and we're approaching the 4000s and NISBA has
we can chunk
shared them.
maybe we'll
So
start.
we're not there
We
yet.
share them in chunks like that
Yeah.
too.
So
Okay.
last year, we engaged NISBA to do a full policy audit for us, right? We are relying on them in part for us to be able to achieve this goal, because we can't commence until they return the information to us for whichever of the two groups they still. we're hoping
Is that how
to work out.
you guys figure out what you're gonna do in the policy committee by what they give you?
Yes,
Right now, yeah, because it has been.
and by
so
what Carmen
long.
prepares for us.
Right, yeah.
Or unless
The state
something,
brings something.
well,
Something's
yeah,
timely,
the
yeah.
state makes a change, if Mike makes a recommendation, or, I mean, honestly, at any time, right, any of us can make a,
Policy suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
and the community can as well. But that's kind of where we're at. So when we get to this, we get it from NISBA, we can announce at the board meeting, we have our policies. We have the policies from NISBA, now's a good time, community.
Right.
We may even, to meet goal one, we may even want to have a forum on something.
And I would say to like, we might have an idea that we're gonna get through, I don't know, maybe 10 policies at a meeting. But then there's meetings where some policies require more time, so then we only get through like 2 or 3.
Mhm.
And then when the other ones that are procedural, like that's why this time we were able to roll out so many.
Right.
But some of them require like bigger conversations or multiple meetings for us
Right.
to get information.
So I will add, to this before it goes public, what these include and entail.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
So we're good with the way that's worded, other than those changes on this action, possible action items page. Okay, goal 3, monitor progress towards strategic plan. I have a proposed change, I would like this to say monitor progress towards the 2022-2027 Hendrick Hudson School District strategic plan. I would like it to just be longer because it's more clear. We've gotten feedback that we know what the strategic plan is, but not everyone else does. So I'm gonna change that language. And then I included possible action items. Create a monitoring schedule, which I think we've done. Engage stakeholders. Adjust and recalibrate, we have that scheduled already. Report progress publicly and celebrate our milestones.
So.
Are we put,
Fine.
sorry, I was gonna say, are we putting, this is gonna go on our website, right?
Yes,
Is it possible for us to just add a link to the strategic?
We
plan
will.
So that, okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Same page, I was gonna say the same, can we link
Policy.
policy section of
Yeah.
Board Docs when this goes
All
on
of
the
it.
website for goal 2?
Also, for an action item for 3, should we include in there the, that we're looking at, I know this is leading into the next part, but the student ex facto board member?
Because it's part of the strategic plan,
Yeah,
and that would be us that would be doing it. So
at least the process for,
Mhm.
process,
But isn't that gonna be dictated by New York State?
sort of. It's dictated that we have to, but the process, we're sort of. There's a
We don't know
pushback on the
I
process.
don't know, yeah, I was gonna say, we don't know yet, that's still kind of unfolding. It's
yeah,
never
I'm jumping the gun here.
But there's probably gonna be some autonomy,
Or-
right? They're gonna give you a framework and then you're gonna incorporate it for.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm jumping the gun because I think that's our,
It's our next conversation.
next
For our
conversation.
conversation. So to wrap this up for everyone, so everyone here understands the next steps. Once we agree on this with the changes that we just suggested, this is gonna go public. It'll be on our website. We're working with, our staff right now to develop a quarterly
newsletter. This will be newsletter 1. It'll be our board goals, the work we're doing. And with that, we are also going to outline goal 1, 2, and 3, and some of these measures and why we're doing them, and why they're important. All of you will get to review that before we send it out. We'd like to send it out next week. And it will also include our first meet and greets and community meet and greets. I don't want to release the dates now in case they shift and change because they're not exactly finalized. But as of right now, we are doing at least 1 virtual meet and greet, 2 in-person meet and greets, and we're potentially looking to add an event, 2 events where 2 to 3 of us, and hopefully Mr. Trombley, that's the goal, will be present at district events. I'll just throw Haunted High School as an example, and we'll just be there as trustees and to have a conversation if people come in. That way we're more accessible. And we're just gonna see how it works.
I know we're.
It's probably,
No, I was just gonna say, like, the meet and greets, in thinking about it. Our first one should, I think, be in person.
It will be.
Okay. Yeah, because I know we were talking about some virtual dates, so I don't think we launch, hey, come meet us, and then you talk to us from behind the computer screen.
We're moving that date.
I know
'cause it's too soon.
everybody's schedule is crazy. I just don't.
I haven't been able to land on another virtual date that works yet. That's why I haven't. We will get there, but I think we should have a virtual option.
Will be our.
Hmm?
I'll be able to stop playing in the snow.
You know something?
Yeah, like,
Have connection.
so for our third goal, I was thinking, because I'm online right now and I'm looking at your strategic plan and I'm looking at your digital dashboard. Really, it's not a digital dashboard, so if I don't really know much about the strategic plan. And I look at 1B and I see what we have listed. It would be nice if we could do something in real time. So here's student engagement 1B, and this is what we've done this year for that. On this date, we did that, on this date, we did
That's not the
that.
board, that's the district, that's not us.
Okay,
But that would be a digital dashboard.
it's because you know what, when you go on here, the other file that you have on here, you have your PDF. You have a video over it, but if you do your inflammation dashboard, it's from 22-23. That's, and it doesn't, like, this phase is over. So where's the next phase? What have we done so far?
Understood. And that was the approach we took by assigning to our departments and the district goals to the individual action items from that. We will update accordingly as we go.
Right, so and I'm thinking since you already have that, if this document could be changed with actual dates and what they're doing to align with each goal, because you already have that one document. So it's clearer, because this needs to come off the website, since it's 22-23.
That's the real time one, right?
You know, it's, because if I'm looking at the strategic plan and I don't really know what it is, the PDF, this one is a spreadsheet. So if I go here, this is,
Nothing live here.
this is all 22-23.
Those are implementation.
Yeah.
So if I'm hearing correctly, the request would be to provide more up-to-date information on the website in some manner as to how we are implementing the strategic plan.
Because I know you are, I know some of that, Lisa's rolling out that SEL screener, that's part of one of our goals. You know, here's the date, the screener is out, and this goal,
So
it's an action item.
we probably just need to update this page.
We can take a look at what documents make sense, what documents should be updated, and what documents may be removed.
And we will be linking so our email blast is gonna be linking to a lot of this stuff. For people to review and just look at, so everyone gets familiar with it.
I get that, but I don't wanna be a naysayer, I don't wanna be that person, and I'm just gonna, sorry, Mike. If the email is longer than a paragraph, I'm not reading it. I'm just gonna let you know, that's where,
It's gotta be short and to the point.
yes,
You have,
because
like,
there's so many correspondence,
like
how many
20
emails do you get a day?
I got 3 goals,
Hundreds.
that's all I have.
Yeah, how many people?
We have 3 goals, we have to include our 3 goals, how to contact us, and what our meet and greet dates are.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you want more information, here's the link to the website to see how we're gonna be tackling each of them.
And here's how to reach us.
And it's a big step forward, because we don't have a direct link to a lot of things. Most people have to go through board docs And I think it's a step. Yeah, and or the website, deep into the website.
And people can just
The
say this
updated board docs and new board docs
will be
have-
this.
It will have that kind of dashboard that we can much more easily update
Yes.
live kinds of things, so.
Do we have to do anything with the bills tonight?
We just have to, I think we should just approve them. We should put them into approval with the, noted that with the changes.
Motion to approve the.
2024.
That.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great work, guys. Okay. Next is. Oh, so just so everyone understands, because we're going through this process with NISBA resolution, trustee Stanko is going to be she's basically our designee, she's our delegate for Hendrick Hudson School District. Is anyone else joining that call just to listen in? Corey Padine.
Got lots of snacks, yeah.
It usually is hours long. Thank you for your time and energy and effort on that. I really wanted to thank Lauren. Lauren actually sat on, I think, 2 trainings. And was they had until today to add resolutions. Which would have meant we would have had to vote on them tonight, but that did not occur, so we don't have to worry about that. We're all good to go. She's good to go. She's trained and ready. So thank you, Lauren, for doing that. Thank you for Corey. You're gonna learn a lot through the process.
Yeah.
So it's worth your time. I did do it 1 year, so,
So it's good training.
yeah, okay.
Next year you're doing it too, then.
I am.
We're busy that day.
So our next conversation, and we can keep it brief, guys, is, the potential of having a student board of education member and the process and what that looks like. So I'm gonna just give a quick background and then Amelia, will speak to this. When we discussed real world experiences, when we discussed in our strategic plan, this was actually something that had come up. Within Hendrick Hudson, this was one of the sort of the experiences that the strategic plan committees felt was important to look at. We did have a student member of the board about 10 years ago. I don't think there was any official process in which that person was on the board, but it was about 10 years ago. So we have to just, now, on top of that, the governor has basically said you are going to have someone. And there is policy around this. There's a draft policy around this. It will be coming up, so we have discussed it, but we have to decide how we want this to look as a board. I'm bringing on a member. And the process we want to take, any concerns we might have about it, and Amelia was, when she was this summer, with Mike, they were able to learn about multiple school districts that already have this in place, so. And this isn't something we would do this year, by the way. It's gotta be future. It'll be probably next year at the earliest.
So yeah, Mike and I were lucky enough when we went to the NISBA conference in July. Before it was actually a mandate, we selected to go to this presentation from 2 school districts where they had the actual students who were part of this team. It was really like they spoke to us, and it's a really cool experience. I did get the email and phone number for the board president for that school district before we left, because I told her that was gonna be one of our upcoming board. No, am I allowed to say?
She's the president of what school is this?
Okay, Schenectady, Bernice Rivera. I did talk to her after, because I was blown away by the whole thing. It was an hour and a half, and I wish it was longer because the kids presenting were awesome. The whole process was amazing. So I got her contact information because I said this was a board goal that we were gonna have, and we wanted to just get a little bit more information. So I reached out to her again recently because it did come up in our board meeting that we were gonna have to create a policy. So I reached out to her to see if she could give us any of the documents that they're using, the process that they're using. And funny enough, they are having a board meeting tonight, a work session where they are fine tuning all of their stuff. So tomorrow, she is emailing myself and Erica a lot of information as to what they discussed tonight. So once that happens, I would love to bring some of that because they've been doing it for years and it was, it seems to be like a really cool operation where they have one member on the board. But that one member also has a team, it was a girl, this student, she had a team of other students behind her who were in different schools, so there was like a middle school student who, then they meet so that they can bring stuff to the board, like she could bring some stuff to the board, or they could just discuss from there, so even though it was one member, then, like, it was almost like a student government strictly for this, it was separate from their student government, I thought it was. Yeah, it was a really cool experience, hearing from the students, another positive was, one person said in particular that they don't want to go into, anything political as they got older, but they thought this would be something they would be interested in doing and providing service back to their community. They said they would be interested in maybe being a board member when they got older, so that was cool. Some did say that it was opening doors to them to want to maybe pursue a, career in politics or something along there, so it was a really cool experience. So as soon as I get more information, I'll meet with the policy team and go through some of that, and I'll discuss that with you guys.
We did find online that there's school districts that do this, they have a selection process, an interview process, how you're eligible for that process, your term. They outline time requirements, probably because our meetings go long, right? Some of our meetings go long, the student would not be an exec, right? So they would just join us at the meeting. I think we'd all be, if we had a student here, there was a suggestion made to me that, and I've seen this where they rotate students, so it's not just one student, it's multiple, and they rotate them, so they all get to have the experience. And then, like, a concern I would have is, how do we get? Now, we're only gonna be hearing from a high school student, how can we make sure that that captures, the rest of our student body in some capacity? I think that's something to think about. And then the other, because I think time is a big one. I mean, I have a junior, so I understand the time commitment of this. And, you have to have, it has to be a process, so we can move forward. Is everyone comfortable with us moving forward and investigating this?
And it's a great idea.
Isn't it mandated?
Yeah. it's
Not
not-
quite.
Not yet.
Common.
Yes.
As with any pending legislation, the various groups who have their perspectives on legislation, if it should be passed or not, are in the process of making their voices known.
I have a question for our board, even if it's not a mandate, would this be something that we would be interested in exploring regardless? So even if, let's say, the state mandate doesn't go through, would you still want us to explore these, like procedures on
process.
pathways and all that?
I would like to get more information about the school district you were talking.
You have the time to do it, and the interest, why would we know?
Yeah.
I'd also, if it doesn't pass, I'd like to know,
Why?
like, why, what are the unintended consequences, right,
Right.
that we didn't consider as well? But yeah, if you have the time and the interest to do it, I think it's awesome, why wouldn't we want to learn?
I
And
think we want more
more
representation.
exposure,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was on the West Park advocacy on Monday night, and it was a big topic of conversation, because now they're talking about the things they wanna advocate for. And there was a lot of talk about people being against being told to do it as a mandate. A lot of people said they were interested in it, but not being told to do it, and so that was the general.
I generally agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be a local decision and
Yeah.
not something that's forced upon us. I also, because I think year to year, things change.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have wanted a student board member on certain years, right? There's certain top,
It's like, once you go down the path, you can't like decide when to.
I mean,
not have it.
if it's mandated, then there's always gonna be a kid required to be sitting here.
Yeah,
That's a whole different conversation and
Yeah.
we can say listen, if we know there's gonna be 150 people in this audience, it's probably best for us, right, as a board to say, maybe don't come tonight, right? Like, and if it's mandated, we won't have that.
or remind the audience of the
But-
student here.
I was just
I
gonna
don't
say that
think
also
Or
changes,
that.
I think that also though, like, that was one of the things that.
Mandated.
But that was one of the things that they talked about in that, was that having a student at the table makes adults think before they speak.
I agree with that.
So it
Something.
just made it like that you're mindful that there is this, young adult in the room with you and we need to display the kind of behavior that we want, so that respectful
Us, yes.
talk,
I,
but not just us, for community members, for everyone.
I agree with you, but not all adults, because we've all been at the soccer field. And we've all been at games, and we've seen maybe one adult who is.
Yeah, but then if they come to a podium to do that, then they're outing themselves and
Yeah,
doing
they're
that,
not
then you're
just
making
saying
a,
no.
it's beyond just in the heat
Yeah,
of the
I know,
moment at a
it-
game. Now they're getting up and making a choice to go to a podium and say something, whereas like, you're a teacher, sometimes you get emotional, but you know what you can and can't say in front of a room full of students, so people should be mindful of that when they're getting up and speaking. I mean, I think anybody can watch any of these at any time.
Point of privilege. Just a few things. So thank you, trustee Silverman, for winning the argument over which breakout session we go to.
They were all good.
At the conference. I believe that the student ex officio member would not need to be present during quorum. I have seen in districts that do have this, that they, oftentimes these students are stretched pretty thin and they may have a sporting event, and while they're always welcome to attend, then you can still conduct the business of the board. And another thing to reiterate, if we do move forward with this, is that this is a meeting of the Board of Education in public, not a public board meeting. And that the board does have parameters they can implement with public comment and interactions among audience members.
Okay, so that was. We'll move forward, bring back ideas, thoughts. Yeah. Okay, we're on to our committee reports. Did anyone wanna,
The policy was pretty transparent.
I know
I was
policy,
gonna talk about PD, but I think Margaret and Dr. Rowland covered a lot of the stuff we
Did we leave
talked
anything
about. No, you covered everything, or I think, all the stuff that Dr. Rowland included in hers for PD.
are you keeping minutes for that?
Yes, they're posted on the website.
Okay.
I was just gonna say the West Putt advocacy meeting was about the things that the specific West Putt group wants to advocate for, as opposed to the NISBA group. It's a lot of learning all the acronyms and getting them straight. Today I got like a compilation of sort of everything that we aligned on, and so I can send that out to everybody.
Great.
I wasn't sure if I should email it or give it at this meeting, or, but I can just email it.
Email it to us, yeah. Any committee reports, Beth?
Somebody said that since.
There's a safety committee meeting coming up next, yeah, we already reported on the last meeting.
The only. Amelia and I went to a West Putt officer training last week. How was that? It was awesome. It was really good. We actually learned a lot, just in conversations at the table. And we were a very new board, I will tell you that, compared to others.
We also should give a shout out to the Southern BOCES,
I was gonna do that.
students. They made our
They
made our dinner, and it was like a 3-course meal.
Wow.
That
served
was
it. Was very
it was-
awesome.
it was, their cooking was on
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was good. It was good for us to be there in person. I didn't have an opportunity to go last year. I was glad we went this year. It's always nice to meet other people that are, living similar experiences as you and learn from them. And, we ask each other questions and we learned about process and, it was a good experience. I don't have any other committee reports. Erica, do you want to tell them about the convention that you guys are going to? Oh, yes, at the end of October, we're attending, Corey and I are gonna attend the NISBA annual convention, and it happens to be in New York City this year, and that's a 3-day commitment. And evenings, and I think we're both hoping to bring, I think Lauren's actually joining online. So we're hoping to bring back some new ideas and thoughts for everyone to share from what our role and our perspective are, and that's October 20th, 21st, and 22nd, I believe.
you guys are gonna love it.
Mhm. I think that's it. Hmm?
Just something I left out, if I may, President Mills. For the next presentation, at the board meeting, we will be having a capital project overview and update from our architects, KSQ, and, Ms. Figueroa and Mr. Merlini. So that will be the main thrust of the presentation portion of next month's, the next board meeting that we have.
And I didn't officially ask if anyone had any new business to bring up. Okay, we do have to move back into exec, to finish our meeting. So we will close this meeting. We close the meeting, this meeting, we have to keep the meeting open.
Open and make a motion to go back into.
Motion to go back into executive session.
All in favor?